you on that. Omar's joined us on here. What are you here to say, Omar? You're on mute, bro.
Oh,
You're
okay.
unmuted now. You're unmuted now. Go on.
All right. Anyway, watch the whole game. Amazing game on paper, but let's be honest, guys, that was a complete comedy show from both goalkeepers. Every goal that I saw today could have been avoided today. Absolutely ridiculous. And there was I don't know what you guys think of that the Sun goal, because a part of me thinks that the goalkeeper should have done better, but then again, do you guys think that Bergvald kind of blocked the hand that he basically blocked was going to be the one that he would have used to
Yeah, but that he
play the
did.
chance?
But then that is also Brian's mistake. You're going with the wrong hand to even block it anyway. So yeah, it's not enough for it to be disallowed and stuff. So
I agree, but I would say this, right? As far as the game is concerned, I think that one thing I would give Amorim is this: when you guys went 3-0 down, he could have easily just said, you know what it is, it's 3-0 down, we're basically out, there's no need, to risk it, bringing them, players like Ahmad and Xerxes on. And let's be clear, I even said it even during my stream where I was like, at the end of the day, I wish that he should have started Xerxes and Ahmad in the game and basically maybe take them off. It could have changed the game. And you saw what happened the moment that Xerxes and Ahmad arrived. Right? Xerxes arrived, and then literally the first opportunity he had made the goalkeeper work. Something that Hoyland didn't do the whole game. Literally, 5 minutes coming into the game, and then scores with his second touch. Right? Basically, the 3 substitutions that came on after that third goal completely changed the game, turned the game on its head. Right? Because Kobe Mano was doing his thing as well. Ahmad got the second goal. Right? But at the end of the day, I just think that, the goalkeeping mistakes were just all over the place today. And listen, it was entertaining for the neutral. I was very, very much entertained by both of the teams' mistakes and all that. But I think that at the end of the day, that game looked like it was going to go one-sided. And then all of a sudden, just like that, Fraser Forster decides, you know what it is? This game is becoming too easy. We need entertainment for the next 30 minutes. You know what I mean? And then he just...
Sorry, go on, KJ. Go on.
No, but I've got a question, so I can wait until you're done your point.
I was going to say, what's the expression? Goals change games. Up until Spurs came out quite strong, but we then started controlling the match. Then our goalie makes a mistake, and it gives them that impetus. We can't make any more mistakes, and then we did. But you know what I did like about United today? Again, on a performance level, is I felt we became a little bit erratic chasing that goal in the last 10 minutes. And that's something that I think is only going to be improved with more coaching and better players. But even at 3-0 down, we kept our shape and we didn't panic. And again, a rival's going to listen to that and not give a hoot, because they don't, it's not their team. They don't care. They haven't witnessed what we have witnessed at Man United, where the amount of times we've conceded 1 goal or 2 goals or gone 3-0 down and then just sort of thrown caution to the wind, started knocking long balls, no build-up play, lost our shape, and then ended up conceding a 4 for a 5th or not look like getting back into the game. Yes, there was some fortune to our goals because Forster made mistakes, but that was born out of us maintaining our composure and the way we wanted to play. And that was why the last 10 minutes frustrated me a little bit. If I was going to be in the room with the players feeding back to them, it's maybe in that last 10 minutes. And look, Ahmad's included in this. He's a player that's had a lot of praise. There was 2 or 3 times where he shot from distance when he shouldn't have done. He should have kept the ball and kept on working it, because when we were working, and we same against in the City game, when we just carried on moving and working the ball and waited for the right time to play the final ball, we were creating openings, opportunities, and/or chances. And that for me was an element where I'm okay, well, you keep working on this. And yes, the results are always important at Manchester United because we're the biggest club in England, but we also have to understand where we are, where we're working from. So, if I watch the game back again, there'd probably be more things I'm positive about. However, the mistakes tonight you can't legislate for. And I mentioned it already, I'll say it again. I think Lisandro Martinez, I don't know quite how the manager's doing this. I don't quite know how Ineos and the board are doing this, but that's out of our 4 defeats that we've had so far under Amorim, he has been accountable for a lot of the goals that we've conceded, either through mistakes or bad positioning. And I think that's where you have to just look at it. And that's where I want to see us become ruthless when we get into that into that summer. It's, yes, we thought you were going to be a star, but actually, if you end up being personally responsible for 10, 12, 13 goals, how many big clubs stick with a player like that? Yes, I understand that he's done some good stuff on the ball, But I'm honest, when it comes to goalkeepers, when it comes to defenders, your primary job is to stop goals from going in. If you're not good enough at that consistently enough, I don't care what you do on the ball. The same as having a striker. Great hold-up play, feeds into others. But if you're not scoring or creating chances, ultimately, you ain't good enough. You've got to be creating them or scoring them as a forward, rather maybe not so much a striker, but as a forward. I look at it the other way with defenders. If you are consistently making mistakes or making errors that are leading to us conceding goals, because in so many games, the Forest game is an example tonight, and if you take away the mistakes from Lissandro and the goalkeeping errors, that's 2 losses that I don't think Amorim should maybe have on a structural level and on a performance level. But again, there's not much we could do about that in the short term. That is about getting rid of the right players in the windows and buying the right individuals. Sorry, KJ, you had a question.
Yeah. That's for Omar and not Orchard, sorry, Omar and Andrew, because they're neutrals. I don't know how much you saw much of the game, Andrew, but if you did, let me know. Out of the 2 teams, Spurs and United today as neutrals, who do you look at and be like, actually, they've probably got a better chance of becoming good compared to the other? You know what I mean? Like, which one actually looked like they were the better team?
You want me to answer this first, or do you want to go?
No, I will. Both of you. One of you can go. I don't know.
Okay, so I would say this: when you look at both lineups, you can clearly see that Tottenham were the ones that were basically they wanted this trophy more. They wanted to win more because they played their best 11. You guys did a little bit of a rotation, right? But I would say this: from what I saw, first half, I think Spurs were basically the better team. They scored early, and then you guys kind of came back after that, that going a goal down. And coming out in the second half, you guys didn't start the second half well. But I think after that third goal, when you guys had that first goal, things changed, right? And I would say this about, if you're talking about both teams, for me, I feel more of United have basically steps to go, because yes, I feel like they do have a few frailties in their team that they just need to deal with. But I think that when you look at some of the players that they do have, like the Amads, like the Kobe Mainos, right, like the Xerxes, you saw how they quickly came in and just made an impact in the team, right? That is what you kind of need, right? And basically, I just feel like you do just need to maybe get rid of maybe some players. There's certain players that I think they're not good enough. I even called out one of them, which was Højlund, right? The fact that Højlund started, I knew he wasn't going to have a good game. Even before, like I was saying, why didn't he start Xerxes today? Because because you saw instantly the moment Xerxes came, how the game changed, right? Even players like Garnacho, when they came on, they didn't really do much in the game at all, like no impact. You understand what I'm saying, right? So I think that with Amorim, you have a manager down there who I think that, for me, I really have a lot of belief in Amorim. I think that he has what it takes. And really, I think that when you even saw today his changes today and how quickly he made his changes after going 3-0 down, it shows you that he's a reactive manager. He understands what the problem is and can quickly fix it, right? And I do believe that with all of that, I think that United do have a better step. They're in a step in a better direction with a better manager and a few good players, and maybe getting some other players to come in the future, and maybe getting rid of the deadwood.
Yeah, I think it boils down to, because I only really saw it I only really watched the game after you went 3-2. I think the bigger answer is, who do you trust more to address the problems in the squad? And I would trust Man United to address the problems or attack the problems in their squad more than Spurs will. But Spurs, and I will know this, Spurs, it's a history of Daniel Levy and history of Enoch. They don't pounce, they don't back when they need to back. Do you know what I mean? And I say trust, but I believe Amorim will be given better support than Ange will be given, especially the summer coming up. I won't really count January. I think the summer's the more important window.
Yeah.
Really. Because I think he's still trying to sort out the kinks and who's to keep. And like I say, it's easier to say you're going to get rid of players than actually getting rid of players, especially with some on the wages that you have. I know you cut your wages, but they're bigger than still on that.
It's early days for both, for Man United and Ineos. What I would say is this: a few people in the comments tonight have said, Terry, the things you've said about Amorim and Ineos, you said when Ten Hag came in. It's not strictly true. Go back and watch the content. I mean, I remember one show specifically I said it on, which was the Carabao Cup final, and I said, look, there's been some progression in the early stages, but if we don't get new owners in, sooner rather than later, the rot that's been here will end up infesting this dressing room and this manager. And lo and behold, it did. The reason why I put United ahead of Spurs in that regard, in terms of getting it right with this current crop of manager, is everything's changed at United in terms of football decision makers, scouting. We're trying to build something. I think Ange has got some good qualities, but as every Spurs fan has said on this show for the last 18 months, whilst Levy and co are running it, nothing's going to change. And if nothing changes at board level, I don't think it matters how good their manager is, how much money they spend. I don't think they're ever going to become a highly consistent team for a prolonged period of time. There are no guarantees, by the way, that Ineos are 100% going to do that. But there are some really good signs early on. I mean, there's still things they're doing that I don't like today. They've made more cuts when it comes to stewards and things like that at the club. Mm-hmm. At the same time, the owners have pumped in a further £79 million, which takes it up to nearly 300 million of their own money that they've pumped in, which is 300 million more than their previous owners. And so there are some things they're doing that I like. The things they're doing towards making the football team better all make a lot of sense. Some of the elements towards the staff and the people at the club, I'm not particularly happy with. What I will say is when people say they've cut this and they've cut that, I'm not, well, do the other clubs even offer that? I'm not trying to morally score points here, but imagine you take a bonus away from certain staff. That's horrendous, but most other clubs don't even give one in the first place. I mean, you can weigh that up whichever way you want, right? So I want to understand why they're doing these things a little bit more, even though I don't like them, but I always seek more information. But no, I think that United, there's a good ground here for United to grow from, but it's a long and winding road, and we need to keep a lot of pressure on our owners.
Terry,
Go on, mate.
So all I'll say is, watching these two goalkeeping performances, I feel slightly more confident in Robert Sanchez after watching these two.
No, I agree. I agree. But this is one thing though, where I would really heavily criticize Ineos from a football perspective. And I know they've sacked the man now that made the decision in Dan Ashworth, but not bringing Ruben Amorim in on the 1st of June and having a full preseason is the reason why I believe that nights like tonight are happening now in December. Because I think if we could have had a full preseason, the beginning of the campaign as well, there was a lot more times where there was one game a week, where there was time for more training. I think we'd have the fact is the team haven't had one training session yet on the manager's system. Every single training session has been match preparation or recovery. And that's why I said in the summer, that's why I wanted this change to happen. So that's the only real big footballing area that I look at these owners and go, you got that massively wrong. We've got a few super chats here before the end. The first one is yes from Jerome, says Spurs versus Liverpool's in the semis. Absolutely. Nick Hunter says Fiorentina are the only ones I see giving us a problem. Yeah, probably.
Chelsea will be fine. They'll be
Yeah.
They've failed in every final in the Conference League they've been in. They've flopped. So
they were, I think, back-to-back finals and they lost both.
Yeah, they lost. Yeah.
There we go. If Spurs draw Arsenal next, please invite Henry on your live stream to see. I want to see if he wears an Arsenal shirt or calls for Ange out. Well, they haven't got them. That might be the final, that one there. Look, I want to thank you.